Hello and welcome. I'm really excited today to be speaking to my teacher and mentor, Amanda Porter. So she is an abdominal therapist, practitioner, and educator, and a founding member of the Abdominal Therapy Collective. So welcome today, Amanda. I'm really excited to be talking to you about your upcoming peri-menopause workshop that we're going to be doing in Steep. So I just wanted to invite you to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you and how you came to just being in the ATC.
Oh, thank you, Marissa. It's lovely to be here today. Um, I have came across this work over 20 years ago. I was in my late 30s at the time, and I did a little workshop, a bit like the one that you and I planning to do in Steep at the end of September. Only it covered all the systems. So it covered digestion and all your topics around menstruation and also male pelvic health. On that class, I walked into that workshop thinking, nothing wrong with me, got good digestion, had 3 home births, all is good. During the class, we practiced YAM, which is your abdominal massage, a really sweet, gentle massage that helps your body maintain balance. Balance in all things, including energetic and emotional. When I first started to touch my own belly, my body went into tetany, which is violent shaking. And there was no reason for it. I could not work it out. I just noticed this reaction in my body and I thought, oh, so maybe there is some work that I need to do. That led me to go and train as a massage therapist while doing the work, the yam and castor oil packs and steaming on my own body, and eventually to get out to America and start training with Dr. Rosita Arvigo. I truly believe, because I came across this work as I was coming into my 40s, which for many people is when perimenopausal changes can start, that the work helped me literally sail through my menopausal journey. I was very blessed. Yes, I did have night sweats. Yes, I did bleed for 6 weeks. Yes, I did feel emotional and spiritual and physical changes. But this work helped to support, nourish me, and the community just made me feel that I was not on my own. I had brilliant postmenopausal people who were living in joy. So I wasn't just hearing all this negative stuff about menopause. And now I'm really excited to be here with you, who have joined the ATC probably no more than about 4 years ago, but are already
Yeah.
embarking on our educator training. So we're doing this class together in September, but I know within the next year to 18 months, you will be running these classes on your own. So I'm
Well,
delighted to be working with you. And that's a
thank
little bit
you.
about me.
That's so interesting. I didn't know that you had come across the work and that it had had such a profound effect on, your experience of perimenopause and menopause. I know for myself, menopause was always something that I was quite worried about and fearful of. My own mother had a medical hysterectomy, so she was in her 30s and just, overnight went in for an operation, not knowing she was having a hysterectomy and just saw her suffering. It was like the temperature just went up and there was no management of it. And I grew up in Zambia, and so it was just that I didn't see any positive role models. And I actually discovered ATC through Hilary Lewin, who is another educator, and she was talking about menopause, and it blew my mind that menopause could be seen in this different light, and that there were actually tools, I suppose, that we have in our own hands to make a difference. So yeah, I'm excited to, I've never been on this workshop myself, so I'm excited to experience it. Who would you say this workshop is for? Like, is there an age range? Could you speak a bit more about that?
Great question. So, like I said, I came to this work when I was about 38. And I truly believe in my bones that because I just did the work, we say just do the work, just this little massage, just start checking in with your body. I feel that's what helped my body be in a good place to actually undergo this amazing transition. So ideally, every woman, I think we should start talking to our young women about perimenopause to start to imprint them with some positive attitudes towards it. But really, if you're in your coming up to your 40s, because this is when many women naturally will start the perimenopausal journey. When you started your periods, your menarche, it was probably about 5 or 7 years before everything came into balance and you had a good strong cycle and all the body changes had finished. So it's the same at the other end of the journey. You may start your perimenopausal journey in your early 40s or mid 40s and not actually finish it and have not had a bleed for 13 moons, which is when you're classified as properly menopausal. That process can take 7, 5, 7, 8 years, depending on your own body. So if you're in your early 40s, come along. If you come along, talk to everybody that's younger to you. Also, like you said, your mum, a lot of people nowadays are having medical or being thrown into medical menopause. And this is a great shock because there's no gentle journey through the process. One day you've got all those hormones rushing about your body, you have a uterus, you're menstruating. One day later, everything has changed. And this is a real shock to the system on a physical, emotional, and spiritual level. So this class is great for you as well. It can help you understand what the processes are happening on all those levels. We are more than flesh and blood. We're not just a bunch of chemicals and chemical reactions. We are actually an emotional and spiritual body as well. And menopause will change everything. So come along if you've had a medical menopause. Come along if you're postmenopausal. There are lots of great tips to help you live your good life, live your happy life, live your strong life. And come along if you're in your early 40s, because the earlier you start the work, I feel the easier the journey will be.
Yes, I think it's amazing. I mean, even for myself, I had a cesarean with my first birth, and I felt the healing of just that trauma in my body. So it's just making me think of the women that have had the medical hysterectomy, and perhaps they didn't have the support, as I know my mother didn't. This was back in the 80s, in Zambia in Southern Africa, and there wasn't any support for that. So just the benefits of that alone for those women that are already in menopause, postmenopause.
And also just to have a conversation. Through my research, through my own process of going through this journey, I noticed that you quite often see this whole list of really quite ghastly symptoms that can occur during your perimenopausal journey. And when I meet somebody on that journey, my first point of call is, let's have a look at that list and actually see if there's something else underlying those symptoms. Because of the media, because of everything that's out there, and it's very forward, it's very alert in our consciousness. You get, I don't know, you get an achy knee. Oh my goodness, that's because I'm perimenopausal. All right. But let's look at, is it because of your gait? Is there something, do you need to see an abdominal therapist who is obviously going to be doing your back and helping alignment and posture anyway? So are there other reasons that could be associated with your menopausal symptom? Once we've eliminated that possibility, then I feel you can go on to work with what is your personal reaction to this journey? Because everyone is completely different. My anatomy teacher, Gil Headley, says that everybody is as different on the inside as they are on the outside. And quite often we forget this. We see so many wonderful anatomy and images on Instagram, and we may have lots of anatomy books if you're a bit of an anatomy geek. And you think, right, well, that's how everything is in the body. No, we are all completely unique. In fact, some people can have their organs completely switched over to the other side. So let's stand in our uniqueness. Let's feel into what this process feels like for us. Let's look at how it presents in us. And then let's hear from everybody how the things that they have found that help support them through this transformation.
Yeah, I love that. And what about somebody that is on birth control? They haven't yet sort of gone into menopause. They don't even know if they're there yet, or someone that's on HRT. Could you speak a little bit more about whether that matters or how that plays into it all?
Just come along. Wherever you are, as abdominal therapists, we meet you where you are. There is no judgment. Everybody has their own unique journey. I have worked with women in perimenopause who have said, I just cannot cope. I need to have some HRT. And I've worked with them because as wonderful as our medical profession is, HRT, you still have to find out that balance that works for you, which means you have to have the information so that when you go to see your GP, you can say, thank you, this combination has made a difference, but it doesn't feel quite right yet. Can we tweak it? Many people don't even know that they can go and ask that question. So, and then looking at how you can tweak it. So giving your GP the information as to whether it is the night sweats, as to whether it is the heavy bleeding or the brain fog that is really affecting you, because there are whole ranges, and getting a balance between your estrogens, your progesterones, and your testosterone can make a huge difference as to how things like HRT can support you on that journey. Also asking the right questions is, when my life changes, when I settle down, when I'm feeling stronger, how do I come off of it? So I've supported people on that coming out of their HRT journey as well. So they can be free from having to get drugs.
Amazing. That's really inspiring. Just trying to think what other, I think I wanted to talk to you a bit about the process. Like, is there anything that people have to do to sign up? I think you were saying you wanted to show your screen or something like that. Do you want to go into
Yes,
that?
I am going to show you the Abdominal Therapy Collective website so that you can have a quick idea of how to sign up for this class. So if you hold on one moment, I will share screen. There we go. Now everybody can see. This is the ATC website, and you would go to find a class. You just click on. Sorry, my internet's a bit slow because we're streaming.
No problem.
Very slow because we're streaming.
But this is a place where you can find classes, you can find practitioners.
You can join the ATC newsletter and get information about all our public events. In fact, this next Sunday, Dr. Rosita Arvigo is hosting what we call a Yam Jam, which is a special time set aside for our practitioners to bring their clients or anybody that has taken a basic series class to join in a guided your abdominal massage journey. So there's lots going on at the ATC website, which is not loading at the moment.
Typical, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing while it loads.
That might be a good idea.
There we go.
Yeah. Was there anything else that I hadn't asked you that you wanted to share on? I know you've mentioned that you're going to go through the 5 phases of menopause. I don't know if you wanted to maybe lightly touch on what that is. Um,
Thank you. I feel the most exciting thing about the process that we're going is to embody it as a transformation. When I came to the work, Dr. Rosita Arvigo was in her perimenopausal journey, and I feel witnessing that this woman of power who managed to embody this process in such a gracious and humble way was my inspiration. Menopause is a transformation. I remember being a little girl, I was a little ballet dancer. I never wanted to grow up. I wanted to stay running around the fields doing my arabesque, but obviously I had to. I feel now that menopause has such negative media approach. It's not promoted as a gift. Menopause is actually a gift to you. It's the time in your life where you get to weave yourself into this chrysalis. Everything melts down, and you can rebirth yourself into your elder, into your wise woman. Rosita calls your first menopausal years as your sage years until you become the wise woman. So you get to have a rebirth. And during that process, you can choose what things were important to you. You can dream vision. What does this last, I know, 30 years, because it's not short anymore. Perimenopause, your menopausal years, it can be 30 years long, 40 years long. Who do you want to be in those 40 years? What's going to bring you joy in those 40 years? So for me, I see it as a gift, and that's what I'd like to share. Please don't be frightened. Don't dread. We used to dread our menarche. It was called the curse. Now we're dreading our menopause. It's, you're going to be the hag and the witch and shrivel up, and all these horrible things are going to happen. Or you could say, no, I'm going to reimagine who I am going to be, and I am going to be the bestest I can be in that place. That would be what I'd like to share.
Yeah, I love that. I really love that. I mean, I do workshops with young girls who are preparing for their first menarche, their first period, and I love seeing the change of, going from dread and fear to excitement and anticipation and getting ready with their little, box of tricks that they're gonna
Mhm.
lean on. So I love that idea of that we can do the same with menopause, and just equip ourselves and yeah, the what you were saying about how, there's a long list, which I think is over 100 now, of the different menopausal symptoms, but actually looking at what actually is menopause and what other underlying things, there may be. I think it's the way I've seen it is it's like if you've been ignoring certain aspects of your life, then when you get to that point of perimenopause, it's going to be, yeah, the
In
mirror,
your face.
going to be right in your face going, listen to me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
One of the
Yeah.
most interesting pieces of research I came along recently was about osteoporosis. We all know diet is an important aspect of living. And there is now research out there that is beginning to show that there is a connection with a specific friendly bacteria in our gut that enables us during our life to actually assimilate calcium, vitamin K, and vitamin D to make bones. So there is the possibility, or there is a point of view that osteoporosis is not only connected with the perimenopause and menopause, but it's actually connected to poor absorption due to a lack of friendly bacteria in the gut through a lifetime. And that's why I think coming to this work early is so important, because abdominal therapy can have a positive effect on digestion and absorption. We are what we absorb. We are not what we eat. So, making sure you've got good absorption in your 30s and 40s is obviously going to support you on your perimenopausal journey. And that's just one tiny aspect of how we are imbued with fear and not educated deeply enough to know what we can do to ameliorate some of these symptoms.
Yeah, I love that. Has your page loaded yet?
No,
In the
I
background
believe
there?
because we're
No.
streaming,
Okay. It won't.
it's not
Okay.
going
Well,
to.
that's fine. I think, do you want to just explain it? Like, do you just click a button? How do you actually sign up?
Head over to the Abdominal Therapy Collective website, which is abdominaltherapycollective.com. Click on classes, which you could see when I first showed you the page. You'll get a little box underneath and it says, choose your educator by name. If you choose my name, Amanda Porter, you will see all the classes that I am offering over the next year. Find them perimenopause, and all the instructions are on the page. It is a two-step process. So the first step is to register for the course. And to do that, you actually create a student account with the ATC, and there you'll find some resources. You'll also get invited to the Collective Cafe, which is our online campus. And then you go and pay for your ticket via Eventbrite. So I'm very looking forward to seeing you. Very looking forward to hanging out with Marisa. And it's only a couple of weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's literally 2 weeks away. So it's the 28th of September. No, sorry, not the 28th, the 20th of September in
In
Steep.
Street Village Hall, which is just outside of Petersfield in the UK.
Yes. Yeah.
Excellent, darling.
Thank you so much, Amanda.
Thank you for your time this morning, Marissa. And I will be in contact very soon, I'm sure. And please contact myself or Marissa on any of our social media, like Instagram, or by email, if you've got any questions or would like to know if this is the class for you.
Lovely. Thank you.